Christina Schneider. I'm the athletic trainer at Evergreen in Tyee.
So, how's your day been so far?
It's been going great.
What do you like most about this job?
I like helping people. I've always kind of been involved in sports too. And so this is kind of a happy medium of making sure kids are safe when they're playing sports, returning to play safe, as well as playing in games safely, and then also just being able to watch sports for a living.
Yeah. What do you dislike about this job?
Dislike. I would say sometimes it's frustrating if there's compliance issues, definitely, especially sometimes kids get frustrated with me even. I'm kind of the bearer of bad news sometimes, and so kids kind of take that to heart, and they have to understand that it's coming from a place of trying to support them and trying to make sure that they return to play safely, and so that they can be safe while doing a sport that they love. So sometimes it's a little bit frustrating if you have someone who's not compliant, but I wouldn't say that I hate it.
Right. What type of education do you need for this career?
So generally, you need a master's nowadays. Our profession is actually switching where most people could go through an educated athletic training education program, so you have to go through one in order to be certified and get a license. But it used to be undergrad, and now it's actually switching to master's. So now everybody from here on out is going to have at least a master's. Some people can get a doctorate in athletic training, but you will at least have to have a master's degree in athletic training.
What does a typical day look like?
Typical day looks like I come in after school and just check in with different teams. Sometimes I make appointments with certain kids based off of the needs that they have and the return to play protocols with progressions with concussions. But usually it's just kind of walking around at both schools, monitoring practices. If there's games, you attend the games at night. Just checking in with kids and seeing kids that may have been injured and going through return to play protocols with them.
What motivates you to get out of bed and go to work?
Passion for helping people. Like I said, I come from a background of my mom was a physical therapist and my dad was an educator. He was a middle school teacher, and so I'm kind of the happy medium where I love just helping people and educating people and seeing people learn things about their human body, through educating them throughout an injury, and then getting them back to play on the field and watching that progress, and then the ultimate triumph of getting back on the field, I think is really exciting.
How do you deal with, for instance, an athlete that is upset with your work?
Yeah, like I said before, I think sometimes you have to look at it as a frustration from them, and it's not personal. It's just they want to go back to doing the sport that they're passionate about. And sometimes you just have to kind of educate them. I think educating them not only about the injury, but why you're doing the things that you're doing so that they can understand the situation is really helpful. And sometimes getting the coach involved is beneficial too, especially if it's something that is possibly could affect them more long term. Getting the more people involved to just support them and try to make them understand the situation, I think, is really beneficial.
What is the hardest part of this job?
I think the hours are hard, definitely. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's more after school and then until late at night. And then a lot of people think, oh, you just cover the basketball game and you go home, whereas there's tons and tons of paperwork involved as well. I fill out paperwork every time I do an injury evaluation. Every time I see kids that have had an injury, I have to document everything and all the progress that they've been doing. And then do all the paperwork with teachers and counselors and stuff for concussions is big too. So it's not a 9-to-5 job, so it's kind of a little taxing sometimes, especially on your home life, which is why unfortunately not a lot of females stay in this profession long term, especially if you want to have a family. It's really difficult to not be home till 10 o'clock at night is really tough. But it definitely, there are some things that outweigh that. There are a lot of benefits of doing this job as well. It's just something that you have to kind of time manage and make sure that your significant other is supportive of you in your profession.
If you had a choice to go back and change your career, would you, and why?
I don't think I would change it. I think I would just add a couple things. Like I said, I really do like the education part. I taught in graduate school. I taught just like a basic health class. And so maybe adding some kind of education degree to that would be beneficial. I don't know if I would completely change. I love what I do, but it would be nice to kind of have an education background as well, especially since we in the district, we have students who shadow us for our sports medicine classes at Highline and Mount Rainier. And so maybe just having a little bit of an education background to kind of support everything that we do would be beneficial too.
Yeah. Last question.
Yes.
Was there a moment in the field that an athlete was injured and you weren't positive in your own skills to help them? If yes, how did that impact you, how you felt about being an athletic trainer, and what steps you take to make sure everyone is safe?
Okay, I can't think of a specific moment, but I can tell you in general, if there's something that is not, let's say I'm doing rehab with a specific person about a specific injury, if things aren't going the way that I want to, with what I think is happening, then that's an ultimate referral. The Department of Health, who oversees our license, gives us a certain amount of time to deal with an injury, and then if we aren't seeing the progress that we want or the progress that we need in that student athlete, then we do have to refer to a physician for a reevaluation. So, sometimes it might be frustrating because you're like, oh, I thought it was this, but it's also, I think, a great tool to learn from, that it's not always my educators and my mentors always said, 99.9% of the time it might be, a horse that you're seeing, but sometimes you're gonna have zebras in the situation. Things that look exactly the same but are striped. They're a little bit different. And so you kind of have to, in your evaluation, understand that and appreciate that, and then just kind of learn from that situation is, okay, so now I know this, and then next time when I have to do this evaluation on maybe this specific thing, I have this in mind for a possible diagnosis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.